friends, I get to play some really cool guitars. I've got one friend with a 1980s Ibanez hollow body, and another with an American Ultra Strat, both of which are awesome, and then my Electromatic Gretsch that I love to play. Needless to say, I get to play some really awesome stuff. But one guitar in my collection stands out from all of them, and is also the worst one. Allow me to introduce you to the Prusacaster. This is a certainly interesting looking guitar, at the very least. As you can see, it's covered in hexagonal holes, bare wood neck, with a just clear coat finish over it, polyurethane. This is, we call it the Prusacaster because that's what the designer of it named it. But Prusa is the name of a 3D printer company, which makes sense when you realize that the entire body of this guitar is made of 3D printed plastic. Now I know what you're thinking, where's the tone wood? Well, the answer is I ripped it all off and it doesn't exist anymore. I replaced it with plastic. So that's where we're at now. But this is a modified version of the Prusacaster body that is obviously a Jazzmaster style body full of just hexagonal bits out here. And that's because all of this outer shaping of the body, all of this red here, is completely unnecessary. It's just the shape to make it feel more comfortable and feel like more like a regular guitar. All of the parts are actually mounted to this core black center block that is completely solidly printed. Now the back of this guitar doesn't necessarily look so pretty. These are welded together using I believe either a wood burner or a soldering iron. You weld it and you super glue it just to give it as much strength as possible, but you can see the texture differences here. There's kind of the core solid block that's really solid, and then all of these other parts are just kind of attached on there for the electronics and other things like that. 3D printed control plate, because this project is meant to be done with a Telecaster kit, something like a Harley Benton kit. But instead of doing it the right way, of course what we did was cannibalize a guitar I already had. I had my first electric guitar, an Epiphone Les Paul Special 2, and we basically took out every bit of hardware, bought a Telecaster bridge, and put this together. Now, at the time, we were pretty new to this, so we didn't even think about the fact that the scale length would be completely messed up because we're using a Les Paul neck, not a Tele neck, with a Tele bridge on a Jazzmaster body. It gets stranger the more I talk. But the intonation is like really hard to dial in. It's not too bad at this point in time because I've done ridiculous things to make it that way, but it was a process. Although I think aesthetically, I do love the red hexes, but I think my favorite thing is probably this pickguard. This is printed in marble filament. So I don't know if it'll catch it on camera, but it's got these little blue flecks through there, kind of like marble. I love it. I honestly would put a pickguard made like this on another guitar. I think it looks sick. Almost color matched headstock. It's kind of just quickly spray painted, so not super great. And then a 3D printed truss rod cover with my friend Matthew's logo. You can check him out at JMM3D. But that means this has the humbuckers, the electronics, so the toggle switch and the tone and volume knobs, as well as the output jack. These are all from an Epiphone Les Paul Special 2. Notoriously really great guitar, the Epiphone Les Paul Special 2. Put new tuners in it because the old ones were not very good. Picked these up from a local shop in town. They're better than what was on it before and cost like $1 a piece, I think. And then this neck actually used to be a black painted neck, and I sanded all of it off and refinished it with a new polyurethane coat. It's a little rough down this way because it was like the first time I had ever done anything like that. But honestly, it looks pretty. I really like the wood that's on the back of this neck. And actually, this is what the body of that guitar, I saw the body laying around somewhere. But where the body is exposed underneath its paint, you can see that it's the same wood. They use the same thing for the neck and the body. And it is just pretty wood, regardless of the quality of it. But this thing has certainly been an interesting process. We're actually coming up on just about a year from when we built this guitar, and believe it or not, it's still holding together. It hasn't just snapped in half. This is a bolt-on neck, obviously. I don't know how we would have done this any other way, because you also can't really just 3D print a whole neck. It would not hold string tension. But we only use 9s on this guitar because anything heavier would be scary. Now, as far as the playability of this guitar goes, I mentioned the intonation can be really whack. I've got it relatively well dialed in at this point, but we actually had to use longer screws. This is a cheap Chinese Telecaster bridge, and we just took longer screws that fit in here and put them in there so we could stretch them out even farther than they're supposed to be, away from the bottom of the bridge, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it has made it so that it is properly intonated, so that you can actually, you know, play notes at any kind of high fret and actually have it sound correct. So it's super janky for sure, but it was a solution and it works. The action is a little higher than I normally keep it on my electrics, but honestly, it's negligible. It's really not, it's not bad. It's playable. You'll notice the strap mounts, you can just see the screw sticking out through here. This one I think I cut off. Yeah, I did. I cut it off right there. But, you know, it is what it is. Also, in case this wasn't clear from it being a tele bridge, this is a string-through body. So it is holding remarkably well all together like this, considering it's been a full year of this instrument's existence. I played it live one time. I played it for youth band, which means it got through like 2 or 3 songs, and that was even before I got all the intonation set in, so it was a little rough, but it worked. It got me through, and that brings me to the tuning stability, which is, yep, it's rough. It's rough, especially because this guitar, it's a little easier to avoid when you're standing up, but this guitar, you don't need a tremolo system. It'll just bend. I don't know if you can even hear that. Yeah, so as you can probably guess, tuning stability, ha! But if I'm kind of careful with it, I can get through a couple songs without it being a problem, and I have a tuning pedal on my board, so it's really not that big of a deal. Now, like I said, I have only played this live once, but I think, especially now that I've got the intonation fixed, it'd be kind of fun to try to use it again, maybe for some youth group, or even maybe if we're feeling a little crazy, for a song or two on a Sunday morning. Maybe next time I need to use a second guitar for a different tuning or something, I'll bring this bad boy in there. I usually borrow a guitar, but maybe we'll get a little crazy. Another thing, this toggle switch, you know, it's the pickup selector. You know, normally up is the neck pickup and down is the bridge pickup. Of course, we put it in upside down, so down is the neck pickup and up is the bridge pickup, because it was already in there. Too late now. I have had to re-solder the input jack since we put it in here. That actually had to happen before we ever took the electronics out too. When it was still installed in the original guitar, we had to resolder this input jack, and then when we moved all of the electronics into this instrument, it was kind of janky unless you held the cable in just the right spot, which, I'll tell you right now, a lot of people, when they're using like a right angle cable, will wrap it up around their strap and into here. I do that a lot. You can wrap it through a hexagon. You stick it right through there, it's not gonna move. It's not gonna move. So it worked, but then I resoldered the output jack later on, and it's been fine since then. Yeah, we've just used, other than the screws that came with the Telecaster bridge, this is all held together with M3 screws, which have relatively thick heads on them, but honestly, I think it looks kind of cool. Overall, this guitar just looks really awesome. It's also, because it's made of plastic, like, remarkably light. Like, you probably haven't played an electric guitar this light before, because you've never played a guitar that was homemade out of plastic, have you? Well, I have. And it was quite a long print. It took several days. Thankfully, my roommate is excellent at dealing with all that stuff, because I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to 3D printing. So he took care of this body. He did a lot of the electronics work for me, because I didn't know what I was doing. I took care of the neck, refinished all of that, and did the tuners, and ripped it all out of the original body before putting it into here. So this was definitely a cooperative project between me and my friend Matthew. But yeah, I don't know, I just thought I'd make this video about the very unique instrument that I have that I feel like not a lot of other people have. Also, little detail, we use the marble filament again for the output jack plate down here, which I thought was cool. I also like that it's a Jazzmaster style body. I am not a huge offset guitar guy, but I think it looks really cool with all these hexagons. I've seen people do this with like Telecaster style bodies that other people have designed, but this thing is, I don't know, it's just cool. Also, the original design is like 3 different colors that people have used. So it's like the black core, and then this part over here will be blue, and up here will all be orange, because orange and black is like the colors of Prusa. So people who designed it did that. But we went with this really cool red color that I honestly am super happy with. I think this is a super sick looking guitar, and you can play it. You can play it. Honestly, I've played worse feeling guitars. Like, especially because I took this neck off of an already worn-in guitar. Like, I've played guitars with much worse fretwork as well. Like, as far as the neck goes, it's comfortable to play. Action, not bad at all. Like, I have played worse guitars in the store than this. So considering we literally built it out of plastic and random hardware from Amazon and my house, I really can't complain about it. I really can't. Will I use it as like a gigging musician? Probably not. Maybe for a party trick, maybe for like a song. Maybe I'll have a Prusacaster song, you know, I'll go out touring and of one song that'll be like, yes, this is my Prusacaster song. So that's it. I just wanted to show that off for you guys. I thought it'd be a kind of cool video to make. I will, if I can find them, I will leave the print files for this down in the description below. But also, you can find so many videos on these videos. Also, articles online, printables, check there. There's plenty of places you can find the plans for this thing. We have a modified version that we found that is for humbuckers, because it usually uses tele pickups, because like I said, it's supposed to be used with Telecaster kit. But yeah, if you want to try to make one of these yourself for one reason or another, it's really easy to find online, and I will try to leave some links down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you check out some more videos on the channel, I would really appreciate it. And also, leave a comment down below to tell me what you think about this guitar or anything else on the channel. And if you wouldn't mind sharing and subscribing, I really appreciate that too. But once again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.